It's that time of year again, time to go through all of the amazing updates that have happened in the last year to the ClickUp platform so you can know how to leverage this incredible project management tool for your business. Hey there, I'm Christy, verified ClickUp consultant, and welcome back to our channel. Whether you are new to ClickUp or a seasoned user, there's always something new to learn, especially with the new updates that they've rolled out in the last 12 months. So today we're going to explore how ClickUp can supercharge your productivity, streamline your workflows, and keep your company running like a well-oiled machine. Buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll know how to use ClickUp's newest features to always save you time and reduce busy work, leverage automations and integrations for maximum efficiency, and implement pro tips that many users miss, but they can absolutely transform your workflow. So are you ready to level up your ClickUp game? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit that bell icon so you're always notified of all of our newest content. With that, let's dive in. Video we've all been waiting for. What has gone down in the last 12 months in the ClickUp world, and how can you utilize these features to benefit your business? So this is going to be an extensive video. I've tried to group new features into different categories. I'm going to make sure to timestamp this video, so if you're only interested in certain ones, feel free to skip through. Now, I will not be covering every single feature that has released in the last year because that would be crazy. What I am doing is I'm going to feature my favorite ones that I think impact a very high volume of ClickUp users. But before we actually dive into the features, I want to set the groundwork first and talk about how to use ClickUp, the three main ways. Now, I mentioned this in a ton of videos of mine, so if this is not your first video and you already feel good about this topic, feel free to skip over into the section one where I start talking about the updates. But if you are new to our channel or you're new to ClickUp, I want to talk about ClickUp at a holistic level for a second, and then we'll drill down into the new features. So yes, ClickUp is a project management tool, but there are really three main ways that you can use ClickUp for your business. You can use it for basic task management, you can use it for more robust project management, and you can use it for data reporting. I'm going to take 60 seconds and show you those three examples. All right, so task management, this is going to be, say, like Christy's task, Jeff's task, etc. This is just a digital checklist. We can see what we have on our schedule, when they're due. We mark it as to do in progress complete. We're good to go. Basic task management. Then we have more robust project management. So an entire project from start to finish, broken down into phases, milestones, more robust statuses, team members, all the things. You can also do things in terms of like pipeline management. If you're managing a specific pipeline, whether it's a sales pipeline or a content pipeline, here's an example of a quick leads pipeline or CRM. And then here's a quick example of a content management pipeline. And then lastly, we get into data reporting, where you can create different lists where you're pulling in data automatically from other tools and then seeing it visually in things like dashboards. So that was a super quick overview, but I wanted to just give you that visual and quick explanation. We have so many other resources on our channel that dive deeper into ClickUp, whether from beginner, intermediate, or expert level. But also, if there's anything that you want me to dive deeper into, whether it was things I just mentioned or things further on in this video, feel free to drop a comment below and let me know. Like I mentioned, there's a lot to cover in this video, so I'm going to go pretty fast and kind of just give the basics about that topic. So if you want to deep dive, drop a comment. So topic number one, we're going to talk about smarter automation and AI enhancements. So there have been some super exciting automations. I'm also going to go through a couple more specific ones as we get on further in the video, but let's dive in with automating AI custom fields. So with the use of AI in ClickUp, just giving you the brief rundown, you're able to do so many different things. So they actually have some of their AI where they call ClickUp Brain, and their goal for this, what I believe it to be, is that like you're going to be able to ask ClickUp and ClickUp Brain, like, hey, tell me and give me an update on this project. Give me an update on this specific person and what they've been working on. And then ClickUp Brain is just going to be able to gather all that data for you. So you'll be able to see here the different things that you could do at a snapshot, a stand-up, team updates, project updates, think and create, etc. But let's talk about the enhancements of AI custom fields and automations. So here, this is actually new. With AI, they're saying, okay, here are some suggested custom fields that you may want to add to this list based on the context and the task of the list. Also, AI custom fields. You can categorize, assign drop-down options automatically, have an AI summary, and then custom autofill with AI, generate any information about your task. So then you can see different things here, progress updates, sentiment, analyze the sentiment expressed in the task content. So cool. So what you're able to do, say I have a summary. And so I'm going to say, okay, create the summary, and then this is going to, you just click this button and then it's generating the summary for you. Well, here you can see this task was created on X date, there are no subtasks, etc. But what you can do with automations is now in automations, I could say, okay, when a subtask is created or a task or subtask is updated, then generate the summary. And you're able to then have this be updating in real time instead of having to physically click this brain icon and have it generate for you. So that's a super cool feature where this is all going to be generated in real time and up to date, especially with this new use of automation. The next enhancement in terms of automation is the use of formula fields and automations. So if I go ahead and let me just create a basic, number 1, and then I'm going to duplicate this. This is going to be number 2. Then I'm going to do a formula field, and I'm going to call this just test, and this is just going to be number 1 plus number 2. This is really, really simple, but you guys will get the idea, okay? So I'm going to say 1 and 3, 20 and 100, blah, blah, blah. So now in automations, what you can do is say, okay, when a custom field changes and it now has formulas, and you can say, okay, when this updates to 20 or 50 or whatever, you can even do advanced, like task is created or updated, then you can set specific custom fields or do any other specific thing. So basically you're saying you're able to use the formula field to say, okay, if the formula reaches X number, then do this, which is really, really cool. They've also had some amazing enhancements with formulas in dashboard widgets as well, which is huge. The next automation enhancement is due date enhancements, which is super exciting. Something that is a little bit less robust, but makes a huge difference on the day-to-day. So now when I go to add automation, you're going to see some of these also I'm in the beta for. So if you don't see them, they're coming. And if you ever want access to beta things or you want to upvote different features, let me actually show you the website where you can find that information. Okay, so if you go to feedback.clickup.com, this is where they have their roadmap, any feedback. You could see things that are planned, in progress, completed. You can go in here and upvote specific things. And then once you interact with something, it's actually going to keep you in the loop about that thing. So if there are any things that are in progress, or they move to planned, or the ClickUp team says, hey, is anyone interested in the beta? You'll get an email about it, and that's how I am able to get access to these different things. So in here, you'll see the date and time triggers. You can now do when a due date arrives, a start date arrives, so those specific things, which are super exciting. And then also due date is before or after, or date is before or after, etc. So this could be one day before the start date or one day before the due date. You can create a comment being like, at Watchers, this date is coming up. Please let us know if you need any support or anything like that. And then lastly, also scheduled time arrives. So this can repeat daily. So this would be, if you want to do something that's repeating on a custom basis. It'll start on a specific day, it'll repeat at certain days, times, etc. So it will apply to all the tasks within the list when the specified time is reached. So also very, very cool feature update when it comes to automations. The next one is quite simple, but honestly life-changing. I am all about organization, as you guys know, and with that comes naming conventions. So the fact that you can now add custom names to your automations. So when subtask is created, blah, 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 do XYZ. It is so helpful to actually know what you're looking at when you're looking at your long list of automations. So that is chef's kiss. And then lastly, automation enhancements is you can now see an activity log of the automations when where things run. And not only can you see it from the folder level or list level, but you could see it even from the space level and see any automations that have been run. So here you're going to see success. You'll be able to see if things have been updated. You'll see here as I'm scrolling, if you're not on the enterprise, you're only going to see 180 days of activity. So also please, disclaimer, as I'm going through these different feature updates, note that not every single thing may be available on your exact plan. So if you are like, why don't I see that? Please always reach out to help@clickup.com and they will help you realize, is this something that's a bug? Is it a ClickUp that you have to turn on? Or is it something that you don't have available on your current plan? So now let's move on to dashboards. There are some super exciting enhancements to dashboards. Let's start with the new cards. These used to be called widgets. Now they are called cards. So if I go ahead and add card, you're going to see that these actually visually look very different. And then there are some really cool new things like bookmarks. I really love how bookmarks show overdue tasks, search, new content, tasks due soon. There are definitely some different things with sprints and things like that. So you can see now visually priority tasks, etc. So many different updates in dashboards, which is really exciting. And another huge thing that I mentioned before is the use of formula fields within dashboards. So I don't have an example in here, but if I go into here where you see the fields, there used to only be the availability to have hard-coded fields, where now they have the options for actual formulas. So for example, we work with a talent agency and they have an agency fee that's an automated field based on, it's a formula field based on here's what we are paying, here's what the buyer is paying for the campaign, here's our percentage, and then the formula field is what is the agency fee. So they used to not be able to have a whole widget pulling in all of their agency fee totals for the year, and now this is possible with this new enhancement. So depending on your use case, this is a really huge feature. Next is the ability to actually have dashboards as views, which is super exciting. You used to only be able to have dashboards in the dashboard hub, and they were kind of like separated from where the information was pulling in from. But as you can see on this sales tracker template, I have actually added this as a dashboard view. So then it's just pulling in all the information from the specific list, and bonus, you can now include them in templates as well, which is so helpful for us because so many of our templates, we used to have to sell the template and then have a whole tutorial on how to create the dashboard from scratch. Now it just makes everyone's life easier. So that is one update to where dashboards are stored. And then very, very recently, they just allowed us to add dashboards in the sidebar as well. So now you can pull it from the sidebar and decide, where is this information pulling from? And so again, it's way more visibility on your navigation bar instead of it being either in a view or in the dashboard hub. All right, next, some of my favorite features are the updates to calendar management and time reporting. So in the last year, ClickUp has released their timesheets, which is a really, really awesome feature. They used to have something like this, then they put it in dashboards, and now it's back, but better than ever, where now you can not only see like a breakdown of your time that's been estimated, time that's been tracked, but then you can see all the timesheets in one place across your entire organization. And this is brand new. I'm just seeing this now, approvals. So you can set up timesheet approvals where they can actually submit their timesheet to get approved. That is so cool. I'm literally seeing this in real time. Hence, ClickUp has so many updates all the time. Hence, I'm making this video to make your life easier. Also, if you guys didn't know this already, you can actually just start a timer without needing an exact task attached. So if you come to this timer button up here, you can just click on this play. It's going to start a timer and you'll see no task selected. So you could select a task or you could just keep this as a time entry, and then that's going to add to your timesheet too. Okay, next is a fun update, which is very similar to Slack, which is you're now able to set a status. So here you'll be able to say, I'm in a meeting, focusing, vacation, sick, etc. You can then say, okay, keep this for 30 minutes. Do you want your out of office hour to be displayed next to your name? Do you want to mute notifications? And then you can click on save, and then you're able to see everyone's status. So that's a super cool one as well. Next is ClickUp is really enhancing their calendar management and time blocking. I am so excited for this one because I'm an avid time blocker. So right to the left of the search bar, you're going to see this calendar button, and take a look at the new features and how this is going to show, right? So connect your calendar and manage your events, time block your tasks, quickly join your next call. You're going to see all these different things. And so I actually want to show you what this looks like in my account with my actual connected calendar. Okay, so here you're going to be able to see I took off most of my events so I didn't have to blur out the client information. So here you can just see these ones for a program that I'm in, and then my morning and evening routine. But here you're going to be able to see all of your events. So you can choose the calendars that you want to see on here. And then you can search for specific tasks, or you can pull them in from specific spaces. And then when these things are coming up, you'll also see if anything's overdue or upcoming. And then you should be able to bring this into here, but for some reason this is not working. So again, remember, new features are going to be a little bit buggy. I just went ahead and I clicked on this bug. It's then collecting the data and exporting it so I could send it to ClickUp. But in theory, super, super cool. You can even click on this like meet with and see your team's schedule and what they're working on. So the new calendar feature is really exciting. All right, now next let's talk about a brand new feature. I think it literally came out last week, that now allows you to create, update, and delete events in Google Calendar with automations. So you will see in automations, I'm going to create an automation that now you will see Google Calendar. You can create, update, or delete an event based on, the normal triggers. When a task is created, a status changes, etc. Super, super excited for this feature. Again, reminder, this is meant to be an overview video of boom, boom, boom. Let's go through all the features. But if there is something you want me to do an in-depth tutorial on, drop a comment and I will put it on my list. Okay, moving on to category number 4. I have 6 total, so we are halfway there. I want to go through customization and personalization features. Okay, so the first customization feature is going to be being able to add custom icons to lists. So I always used to use emojis. You can still use emojis if you want, but here you can see that you can actually choose specific icons that you want to show on that list. Now note as well, if you create a custom task type on that list, so say in this list, I change the default task type to bug, then this is going to default the icon to whatever that task type if I didn't already have one set. So Task type is a whole other conversation. Task types are so amazing. They released over a year ago, so that's why I'm not touching on them in this video. But I believe I touched on them in my 2024 video. And I just love anytime I can create icons for something or color code something or naming conventions, I am a happy gal. Okay, so that is the first thing, is changing icons. And the next is being able to filter and group by relationships. Now, I don't have an exact example in my workspace of this, so I'm going to give you an example from a client and try to imagine here with me. Okay, so we have a client who is an event production company. They have a lot of different databases within their account. They have a client database, they have an event database, they have a team database, etc. And basically all of these are linked together through relationship fields. So this is where you're able to take a task and link it to another task. So what's really cool about this is they can be looking in their show database, and then they can actually group by the specific client. So they're able to group or filter and then see in their show database all their clients have had, this client has had 3 shows, this client has had 1 show, this client has had 10 shows, and group by relationships, which if you don't use relationships or you're not sure about this feature, it might not make any difference to you, but if you do, this is a really, really exciting enhancement. And then lastly, an amazing, amazing feature is we now are able to set custom field permissions. This is a business plus feature, so just noting that there. But if you go into a custom field and you go into privacy and permissions, you can now set this as private and just add specific team members. So this is a great example. If you have a client database and you want your team to see the general information about that client, but you don't want them to see financial information or their contract or things like that, you can go ahead and have the information you want to see as public, and then things that you just want for executives or managers as privated. So super exciting feature. You no longer have to have things segmented in different areas. You can have everyone have access to the same thing, but really customize what they're seeing on their end. All right, so that is it for customization. Now let's move on to communication and collaboration features. Starting off with wikis. This is a super exciting feature that now with ClickUp AI, you can now set specific documents as wikis. So what this is going to do is it's going to prioritize AI answers, and it's also going to promote visibility in the Docs Hub. I'm just reading this off here. So if you mark this as a wiki, you're going to see this now has this badge. Note that you can have, I think on business or unlimited, you can have 1 wiki, and then you can have more wikis as you go up in your plans. But what's great about this is, say you have a company wiki, say you have a client management wiki. Now when you're searching AI, it's going to bring in inspiration from those things. So it's really like housing your best practices. So wikis are awesome. We also have a company wiki template. Feel free to snag that in our shop. It looks just like this one here. Next up is redesigned form view. So this is actually a brand new feature I just stumbled upon the other day that I'm so excited to start using with our company and our clients. So if you go into the settings, again, this is going to be a business plus feature to be able to access these different, enhancements. But in here, you're able to see the different things that you can add to the forms. So you can see like 1 column layout, 2 column layout. You can also change the colors. This is brand new. Again, I love color coding, but you can change the colors to really cool gradients. You can upload a photo. You can create custom colors as a background, custom button colors, go into dark mode, which they already had dark mode, but now they have all these like fancy color dark modes. It's not just black. So there is a ton of things in terms of like the colors and the theme of the forms that you're able to make them look and feel very, very branded and just more elevated. So definitely some enhancements to forms. And then let's talk about Slack. So ClickUp has had some really exciting new Slack integration. So if you go into the App Center and I go ahead and search Slack, you'll now see the different things that you can do. So features, connected search. So you're searching not only ClickUp, but Slack. Receive ClickUp notifications in Slack, create tasks directly from Slack. You can open Slack, update your Slack status, etc., etc. So I really, really love and use the Slack integration every single day. What I really love about this is if I am in Slack, and let me actually give you a concrete example. So if I come to the sandbox I was working on, and what I'll do is I'll open up task 1, and then, I'm working on this task. A lot of this we do, especially with client work, because we communicate with our clients in connected Slack channels. So what you're able to then do is take this and click on add comment to task. Then you're able to select the specific task that you are working on. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to copy this task ID and I'm going to paste it in here. Okay, so I actually had to go into my actual ClickUp because this is connected to my actual one. I'm going to go ahead and paste this in here, click, and then add. And then this is going to add that comment right into that task in ClickUp. I'll also see the previews in here as well. And so this is really fantastic for taking client information and messages and bringing them into the actual task and project we're working on. Not only for that visibility and updates, but also because then you can click right back to this task and it'll bring it to you and highlight it right in Slack. So then if we have to go talk to that client in that thread, it is a really seamless integration between the two. The other thing that you can see in here is that you can actually configure ClickUp notifications and integrations. So you can say, okay, anytime a comment is assigned to me, things I'm mentioned in, etc., then it'll send you notifications in Slack. I personally am checking my ClickUp inbox. So this, I don't really need to set up, but for some people that's super, super helpful. And then you can also sync specific places to channels in Slack. So if you click on add, say I wanted to, anything that's happening in notifications for operations, I want it to go to a specific channel, you can set up those syncs as well. So now with all this Slack talk, I want to wrap up the communication section by talking about one of ClickUp's latest features, which is chat. So 100% their goal here is going to be to replace Slack. I'm going to be totally honest with you. This is not sponsored by ClickUp. I don't have to say anything. It is not at a place where we are transferring over yet. As you can see, we haven't really been using this yet, but for certain companies, 100% you can make the switch today. And so let me quickly talk about why we aren't switching over. There are just a lot of things, especially the way that we communicate with our clients. We use Slack Connect to connect our workspace with their workspace. And that's where we're able to chat directly with them. And it doesn't do anything to our workflows. We're just checking the same place. Things aren't getting lost in email. And right now there's not that workspace to workspace sync yet, which is super, super important for us. But if you don't do client communication via Slack and you just do all internal communication, this is a fantastic rollout. So here you can see you can direct message people. They've also added guests to chat, so you can direct message with guests. You can create different channels. You can see the ones we have in Slack are customer service, general, ClickUp client updates, marketing, etc. So you can create those different channels. You can create different channels connected to specific lists. And so it's a super, super cool feature. The other thing you could do is they now have rolled out sync ups, which are Slack huddles where you can do video calls in here as well. So there's so many things with chat that are really awesome. And I highly recommend checking it out and seeing if it is worth the switch for you. Okay, so wrapping up with our final section, I want to talk about the updates that have created more flexibility in task and project management. So starting with the recurring task overview. So now in your quick action menu, you'll see this recurring task overview. where you can see the most recent recurrence of activity recurring across your workspace. So only the 100 most recent tasks are going to be here, but this is super helpful just to see, what's going on, what things are recurring within the workspace. Some people find it super helpful. Some people are like, I don't need to see this. So totally up to you. The next is the use of limited member roles, which is basically like an elevated guest, but it is billed as a full member. So something that is huge is that when I come back to my template workspace, a huge thing has been that when you're adding a guest to your workspace, you cannot add a guest to a single space. You can only add them to folders or lists or tasks. So their workspace is not going to look the same as yours. It's just going to be like shared with me and show all of the individual folders. Well, if there are different team members or clients or people that you want to add to your ClickUp and you want to add them to an entire space, the limited member role now is able to accomplish this. So if you come into your settings and then you come into people, you'll now have this limited member here. And so here you'll be able to see the different things. You can always click on learn more and see exactly the different features, but definitely is like limited member is in between a guest and a full-blown member, and it gives you that access and the permissions that you need to give specific people within your company or outside your company without the hassle. The next feature I am so excited about, makes my life so much easier, not only for my team, but my clients as well, which is an automation enhancement related to drop-down custom fields. So in automations, you used to have to, if I am saying the trigger is a custom field changes and say it's a drop-down, you would only be able to select one option, right? So if the custom field marketing and PR category changes to strategy and planning, do this. If it changes to content management, do this. Where there are sometimes specific triggers do the same exact thing. So we would have to build multiple automations for these different things, where now you can select as many as you want. So again, very niche use case depending on what you need it for, but the second this rolled out, I was like, oh my gosh, my life is so much easier. And the very, very last thing I want to go through today is the enhancements to whiteboards. So as you can see, this looks quite a bit different down here, definitely more robust than what it was. So you're now able to do different, more enhanced things in whiteboards. If you want to check out the specific things, you can always check out the help article. But if you are a whiteboard user and you have the enhancements, you will be able to see like the immediate changes in here as well. Not only like the toolbar functionality, but the different things that you can do here and the ease of the whiteboard in general, I feel like is a lot less buggy. And there are definitely a lot of enhancements there. Wow. Okay. If you guys are still with me, kudos to you. That was so much information, but I want to make sure you had a really good overview of all of the major updates in the last year, how you can apply these directly to your workflows. There are even more, right? So many more, but I couldn't be talking for like 3 hours on this. So I cut it down to just the ones that really are my favorite and really affect so many of my clients as well as my internal team. So I hope this video was helpful. Drop a comment below. What's your favorite feature update? And if there's anything else you want me to dive deeper into in future videos. And that is your official walkthrough of how to use ClickUp in 2025. Whether you are brand new to the platform, you're a seasoned user, or you're really just starting to leverage the incredible tool that it is, I'm so excited you found our channel and I hope you stick around. Please make sure to like this video if you found it helpful. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And if you know anyone that could benefit from watching this video, please share it with your people. On that note, if you are looking for custom support on how to set up this incredible tool for your company, you want to make sure that you are on the right track, feel free to book a call with us today to see how we can support you. I'll make sure to drop our call link in the description below. And with that, happy 2025. I'm so excited to support you on your ClickUp and systems journey, and I'll see you next time.